The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café.
Welcome to this episode of Pit Life BBQ. Gather round the pit with your hosts, Johnny Mags and Messy Mike. Let's talk barbecue.
What's up, everybody? Coming to you live from the Studio 21 Podcast Café in Salem, New Hampshire. It's the Pit Life BBQ podcast, where we talk about everything barbecue and a whole lot of other topics that you would talk around the pit. As always, I'm joined by Messy Mike.
Hello, how you doing?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Not bad. Not bad.
Outstanding.
How's my mic? Sound all right? Yeah.
Sounds good to
All right,
me.
good.
Ed?
You sound fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you.
There you go.
Oh, you know what? The reason you think that is the last guy asked me to turn the headset down. Try that.
Oh, there you go. That sounds a lot better.
Yep.
Okay. Much better.
So,
So what's going on?
nothing. How are you?
Doing okay. Okay.
Okay,
I
just okay.
was doing good, but we were supposed to get
Well, it was nice because I got the text this morning that says
I might be a little late.
you might be a little late. So that was like, okay, no problem, no big deal. We can handle that. So what's up?
Nothing. I was supposed to get a delivery today from Sears.
Yeah.
We took advantage of their going out of business, markdown
Oh,
sales.
yeah.
So we bought a cooktop. Got a call yesterday that it was getting delivered between 2 and 4 o'clock today. So that's why I called. I texted you this morning and said, I might be a little late.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'm not, but I might. And so I took the old cooktop out, trashed it, and immediately after I got rid of it, I got a phone call saying that the delivery is not happening tomorrow. And it's not happening until November 1st.
So fabulous.
So we're going to have a hole in the island for a couple weeks.
Yeah, but the key is you're ready.
We're 100% ready. But the kid on the phone was not very customer service friendly.
Yeah, you were probably a little irritated.
I was pissed. I was freaking pissed. I wanted to reach through the phone and just strangle him. But he, as I told him I had to take a day off from work, which, whatever.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. It's a going out of business sale. He
Yes,
doesn't
he
care
doesn't
about
care.
his job
Exactly.
anymore.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, he's not too concerned about it.
Nope. So we're going to be doing a lot of crock pot grilling.
Well, I talked to Claudia and told her, because she's like, oh, is Mike going to be late? Because she was up with me when I got the text this morning.
Yep.
I go, no, he's got bigger fish to fry now. He's not even going to have a stove
Well,
till
he's
November
not going to be
1st.
frying any
He
fish.
won't be frying any fish.
No.
Correct.
No.
Correct. You said if you want, the house is open.
Perfect.
Give you the key. Come and cook your stuff. All you got to deal with is Mac.
Oh, that's fine.
He might jump all over you.
He's a baby. He's a baby.
He's a piece of work.
Is this a dog or a
This
person?
is my dog.
That's his dog.
Okay.
Yes. Him and Mike are best buddies.
Good.
Yep. American Bulldog looks tough as anything, but he's afraid of his own shadow.
Yes, pretty much.
Yep. So what's on the docket today?
Today, we are following up our listener questions, and we are going pork tenderloin.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Kind of like a pulled pork? Pork chop? Or no? How would you describe it?
Tenderloin?
Yeah, I'm just asking.
Tenderloin? No, not a pork chop.
Okay.
The pork loin
All right.
is a tenderloin, which will be a subcategory after this.
Yep.
So we have the pork tenderloin, also called the pork fillet or gentleman's cut, is a long, thin cut of pork located along the central spine portion of the spine.
Yes. Or for layman's terms, it runs from the hip to the shoulder. of the pig.
Yes. Basically, if you were to stand up the lower spine, it
It is the same place where pork chops are from, though.
yes,
Same general area.
same general area.
Yes.
But it's the most tender part of the pig.
Correct.
Because it's used for posture, which I found out is used for posture rather than motion. Now, I never really noticed that a pig had pretty good posture.
So
but
if a pig doesn't have a tenderloin, it's got bad posture.
apparently,
Okay.
I've never seen one stand up straight, but hey,
Neither have I.
stranger things have happened.
Yep.
You know. But, yeah, so it's that small piece, averages, I don't know,
About
pound.
3/4 to a pound.
3/4 of a pound to a pound in size.
Yep.
And, you know, I've talked to people, and they're like, oh, yeah, we got the pork tenderloin, the giant. No.
My wife
wrong.
calls it pork tube.
Pork tube.
What are you having for dinner tonight? We're having pork tube.
Well, that's like single serving, right?
It looks like a single serving when you
for
see it in the
someone like me,
supermarket.
yeah.
It's crazy. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. But because it gets confused a lot with the pork loin. Mm-hmm. You know, that whole tender word in the middle there throws everybody off.
Right. The loin has substance.
The loin,
to it.
yes, has a little bit of heft. Usually about, I'd say 2 to 5 pounds on average. The average pork loin.
Yep. Tenderloins cook really fast, too. So the best way to cook would be, you know, roughly over high heat searing, you know, and just cook to 145. Cooks very fast.
What if you don't start cooking until 3:30?
Excuse me?
You said cook till 145. If you don't start cooking till 3:30, you cook 145.
Internal temperature.
Gotcha. Yes, internal temperature
And
to
Mike-
at one.
Mike-
You're all flustered. I have
I
to
am.
screw with
I
you
am.
today.
And
The
Mike,
stovetop thing is killing me.
Mike's thinking, it doesn't matter when you start.
I was like, yeah, what are you talking
about?
I have to mess
It's like,
with you
it's
today.
like the dentist joke. It's 2:30.
2:30,
Go
yeah.
see a dentist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wah. Yeah.
So how would you? So with you, how would you? You know, what would you rub a tenderloin with or marinate a tenderloin with?
Oh, really? Whatever you want for taste. You can do anything. I've actually tried it with. It almost comes out more of a glaze, but if you go to the stores and you find, like with the jellies and the spreads, the apple butter, fantastic.
Oh, apple butter is delicious.
You know, it kind of crusts up a little bit as you're cooking it, but it has this nice glaze because pork and apple just go hand in hand.
100%.
Right. Brady Bunch. Pork chops and
And
Chops and applesauce. Yep.
Our entire listening crowd just said that. All the same thing. Yeah. I've tried that before. That's fantastic.
Yep. You can unroll it, you know,
Yeah.
and then you can stuff it. You know, just a basic, you know, turkey stuffing, an apple stuffing. You know, you can do that. You could do you know, a chili powder, cumin, garam masala. You know, something a little pungent to kind of bring out the flavor of the pork. You know, ginger, garlic.
You know what I might do? I might go back to the Cuban with the mojo, right? So you get some tangerine juice, fresh lime juice, chopped garlic, a little bit of Mexican oregano, and cumin.
Oh,
Marinate. Oh, delicious.
Now you're talking, Ed.
yeah, we might have to put that recipe up.
Absolutely.
Up on our
We're
page.
putting that one
Yeah,
up.
who wants that
for
recipe?
Sure. Absolutely.
And then I'll serve that up with some black beans and rice.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you can get fresh corn, delicious.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
What is it, buttercorn? No, what are the two types of corns?
It's like butter and sugar, right?
Butter,
the
sugar
kind
corn,
of yellow and white kernels.
Oh, yeah.
What I've also used is years.
No, you didn't.
What? Oh, I didn't. Oh, you're going to give it right back to me? Okay. My great-grandmother was right off the boat from Calabria. And she would make salad all the time.
Hold on, Calabria?
Yeah.
Aren't you Irish?
Huh?
Aren't you Irish?
Pardon me?
Okay, so all right, part of you's Italian too.
Yeah.
Okay.
What, are you
Keep
gonna hold
going.
it against me?
Keep going.
But, Mike, there's a lot to them. There's
There's
parts of
yeah.
everything.
Plenty of
really.
spots, you know.
Looks like a whole country.
This is Swedish right here. But yeah, I just remember as a kid, every time we'd eat over her house, there would be salad and the salad dressing, and I could never find the salad dressing anywhere. And I'd always say to my mother, "Where's it?" She goes, "Really?" She goes, "It's not in the store." It was just straight apple cider vinegar and oil. Kick it with a little Italian seasoning. That was it. Throw that in for a nice marinade. You know, the vinegar breaks it down, penetrates a little bit, and you have this little tang to it. Fantastic. How would you do it?
And it was probably in the same Italian dressing jar that every single person had growing up.
Oh, yeah.
You know, when you had the homemade Italian dressing.
Yeah, it looked like the smaller version of the wine decanter.
Yeah.
You know, the little bulbous on the bottom, and
Whoop. Yep, exactly. Yep.
because that's what that tall pot's called, is a whoop.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. How would you do it?
Do what, the marinade? Pork tenderloin?
Yeah, how would you prepare it?
Truthfully, I would I'd rub it with a salt, pepper, cinnamon, little cumin, garlic, dark chili powder, and a little granulated garlic powder. If I was to, put a quick rub together, that's what I would do. Maybe a little brown sugar, get that all mixed up, put that on it, throw it in the grill, sear it up quick, and then, like you said, maybe an apple butter barbecue sauce, or an apple-based, type of barbecue sauce. But I also love, unwinding it or, cutting it, flattening it out, and then throwing, your stuffing in there. Old bread, get it, throw it in the pot, put a little chicken stock in there, mix it around. I would even do like fresh apples, quick spice, throw it in there, mix it in, tie it up, and then, throw it on the grill. I'd like that. It's hearty, and then maybe a homemade, applesauce. But I really don't like applesauce, so.
Not even with pork chops.
No, I don't. It's an apple thing. I don't eat apples, but I'll eat apples in I'll eat apples mixed with stuff.
Like if it's made into a pie.
I don't eat apple pie.
Wow.
What?
Yeah, I don't eat apple pie.
He's
Are
un-American.
you communist?
No, I'll eat it if it's if it's in a pork chop or if it's in something part of my meal. But I don't do apple pie. I don't do apple cobbler. I don't do applesauce. I'm not a fall fruit guy, I guess. Yep, that's me.
Wow.
I'm speechless.
Yeah.
I'm speechless
That's
here.
rare.
Yep,
Very rare.
yep. No apples a day
Okay.
keeps the doctor away from me.
All right.
So I get concerned with the pork tenderloin. It doesn't have much fat.
Correct.
So, could I wrap it up in bacon?
You could
that hurt
100%
anything?
wrap it up in bacon.
Yeah.
A lot of people do, which sears in, keeps the juices in there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people do that twine, the braided,
Yep.
bacon,
Oh, yeah.
which presentation-wise looks really nice.
Yeah.
Very purty.
Then you also have the pork tenderloin sandwich,
Yes.
or called the tenderloin sandwich, or
Could it be, so coming into Oktoberfest,
yeah.
could it be called a schnitzel?
Well, now it's funny you say that.
All right.
Because the pork tenderloin sandwich is very stop looking at me like that. You screw me all up. Is very similar to the Wiener Schnitzel.
Okay.
But the pork tenderloin sandwich is just a breaded fried cutlet, very popular in the Midwest, especially in Indiana.
Yep.
The sandwich can be traced back to Nick's Kitchen Restaurant in Huntington, Indiana, which is just outside of Fort Wayne. And, you owe everyone a beer.
Go ahead.
Ed.
Settle down.
Yeah, just outside of Fort Wayne, Indiana. And all that is they take the tenderloin and slice it and then beat the hell out of it with a meat mallet.
Right. So it's very thin cutlet.
Very thin cutlet. This is the sandwich, if you've ever seen it, it's
much bigger than the bread.
It is, yes.
You get the roll,
You
and
might
then you
have
get
an
the
8-inch piece of cutlet and a hamburger bun.
Correct.
In the middle of
Correct.
it. That's the tenderloin
now
sandwich.
Is this a breaded or a battered product?
It is normally it's battered.
Yeah.
So
And then
milk and flour,
deep-fried?
deep fry it,
Nice.
So you
And
dry,
that's-
you wet, you dry, you wet.
Yeah.
Throw it in the deep fryer.
throw it in the deep fryer.
Yep.
Then typically mayonnaise, lettuce, pickles, tomato, and away you go.
Wow.
Or even an Alabama white sauce maybe,
Yes, Alabama white sauce, which
which is a mayonnaise-based, white barbecue sauce. Usually mayonnaise, apple cider vinegar, lemon juice,
I have
salt,
the
pepper,
recipe
garlic.
if you want.
Oh, you have the recipe.
I do have the recipe.
All right.
If I can just have a moment.
But
here.
I will say the pork tenderloin sandwich is phenomenal. It's almost up there with the roast beef sandwich, if you believe me. It's comfort food at its best.
Yes.
I grew up, my mom made chicken cutlets, my nana made chicken cutlets, and, so it kind of brings you back to that era.
Yeah.
But it's a down-home comfort food. And, Smokey D's in Iowa, they make a phenomenal pork tenderloin sandwich. And, again, your big tenderloin, your small piece of bun. And I don't know. I wonder if that would fly around here.
Work with me.
You know what I'm thinking? Why not a side of fried pickles with that? That
Oh,
might be
Oh, that would be
delicious.
fantastic.
Now you're talking, Ed.
Yep.
I love fried pickles.
I do too. And it's weird. I don't know. Were you there when? So we went to the local establishment a couple weeks ago, and we had pickle fries.
Huh.
So
Like spear pickles?
yeah, but they were actually cut into like fry,
Yeah.
diameters or lengths,
Right.
and they were fantastic. And it's just another way of doing fried pickles. Never even would have thought of that. I've always had the pickle chips.
Yeah. Everyone does the fried pickle chips.
I kind of like that. Like
yeah.
a zucchini stick.
Yes,
kind of a
exactly.
Shape, but it's a pickle.
Yeah.
It's probably better than a zucchini.
Oh, they were fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, I love fried pickles.
Mm-hmm.
The first time it's like fried pickles. All right, give me a shot. Every time we go out somewhere and they have it on the menu, it's a must order.
Oh yeah.
Everywhere.
Yep.
They're fantastic. So that's pretty much the pork tenderloin, really. There's not a whole hell of a lot to it.
It's a small piece of meat.
That's it.
Well, not
great
much to
piece of
say
meat.
on it. Yes.
Now the beauty of it is it cooks really quick, right?
Yes.
Correct.
I mean, you pop it in the oven in 20 minutes, depending on temperature. It's
Yeah.
done.
Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't take long at all.
And I think, we probably want to dwell a little bit on the internal temperature because so many people overcook pork, right?
Because they're afraid of the pink.
Yes.
Yes.
And, especially for something like a tenderloin, it's going to dry out in a heartbeat if you overcook it.
And pork can be pink now. I mean,
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah, it
myth.
kind of goes back to the old days of less sanitary conditions and
Cook it till it's gray.
well, they were up in the 165, 170 is what they used to say with it.
Yep. Yeah, 145. Use your meat probe. Again, use your eyes, and you want it to be a little pink. You want it to have juice. You want it to be juicy, moist. I don't like that word, but whatever. And another thing, just like meat or any type of meat, let it sit out for 30 minutes before you put it on the grill. Throw your spices on it, throw whatever. Let it sit, let the spices, let the meat absorb the spices or the marinade. Then put it on, whatever cooking apparatus you're going to use, and that will, enhance the flavor.
Yeah. And listen, 30 minutes is no problem. Even an hour is, people tend to freak out, but it's going to take quite a while for a substantial piece of meat to even get to room temperature, never mind
correct.
it becoming a problem.
Yep.
And then you're going to turn right around and cook it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly. So I mean, like Ed was saying, when we go to some of the barbecue events, they're doing like the pig cutting classes. You have a half a pig that's on a table. He's going to be there for 2 or 3 hours.
right, and it's not a problem.
And the meat's not going to waste. You're eating it after, at some point. So, as long as you're cooking it, then, meat can sit out, and that's it. That's it. I can tell I'm saying a lot, and it's driving me absolutely insane.
Yeah, he wants to start this new game, Ed.
We're going to do a drinking game.
Yeah.
Every time I say
Yeah.
do a shot or take a drink, and I guarantee you'll be messed up because I have to stop doing that. So
Well, why do we have to? You take it.
I should. That'll be the next show.
That'll be the next show?
Yep. Every time I say it, boom, I'll bring some alcohol.
I like it.
Uh-huh.
I mean, somebody's going to have to drive you home, clearly.
But it might be one of our best shows.
All right, which now brings us to the pork loin, which is typically that if you're at the grocery store, butcher shop, it's that long cylinder-like piece of pork, usually around anywhere from 2 to 5 pounds on average. It is a cut of meat from along the dorsal side of the rib cage, so just underneath everything inside. So if you're looking at the pig, just like really inside the rib cage.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
And they tend to leave more of a fat cap on that.
Yes.
Yes.
You're going to have the fat cap on that, and
Well,
this
not
is,
more of one that a tenderloin has none.
Yes. And this is normally where you get your pork chops or pork steaks.
The boneless
However
pork
you-
chops. Yep.
Yeah. You get that out of that cut. And
And I would keep whatever fat's on it. I'd keep it on it. I wouldn't trim it. Cook it as is. Fat's flavor.
You don't have to eat it, but you'd be a fool not to.
oh yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Because there's only going to be about, on average, probably a quarter of inch of a fat cap, if that. And that's going to render down after a while and cooking it.
Yes.
Then I also saw, and I was going to bring this one up to you, it can also be cured to make back bacon,
Okay.
which is, they said, is basically Canadian bacon. Which threw me off, because isn't Canadian bacon basically just like a ham steak?
Canadian bacon is round.
Yeah.
A ham steak is thick. I mean, it almost
thicker.
it looks like a ham steak.
Yeah.
A small version of a ham steak. The back bacon.
But it has more of the ham flavor than it does of pork. Which,
Well, just
I don't
like
know
anything
how
else. I
you
mean,
cure it.
if you do a pulled pork, and if you do what is it? If you rub a pulled pork, I want to say if you put rub on a pulled pork and you leave it too long, and then once you go to cook the pulled pork, then it's going to taste like bacon because it's going to cure with the spices on it. If you leave it over, 24 hours is
Yeah.
whatever, but anything longer than that, you will start to get the bacon flavor because of the curing processes, started depending on what spices you're using. That's my guess. But that's a new one to me. I'm going to have to research.
yeah, I saw that real
back
quick
bacon
this
is.
morning, and I'm like, that's a little weird. So I figured, I don't know if you had known any of it.
No, I know front
Because
bacon.
I've had Canadian bacon, and it didn't taste like pork at all. It was more of that ham flavor
Yeah.
to it.
But there's nothing like real bacon.
No,
No.
nothing at all.
Canadian bacon's fake bacon.
Wow.
It's a bold statement right there.
I had a Canadian roommate in college, and I always used to like to say to him, our Salvation Army could beat the Canadian Army.
You'd be like, hey, how you doing, eh?
Hey,
Hey.
yeah, that's right. What I did also find out, there is no grade attached
To pork.
to pork. It is,
It's white.
yeah,
It's the other white meat.
the other white meat. Yeah. So I found that interesting. So what you're really looking for in trying to pick out the right tenderloin or pork loin, you want a nice light pink color.
Correct.
Not the pale, but the nice light pink.
Some marbling. You want, you're
Little
not going
bit
to
of
get a
marble.
lot.
You're not getting a lot because there's not a lot of lot of fat content.
Yep.
to
Watch
it.
out for dark spots on the
Yeah.
on the fat of the pork tenderloin. Basically, you just want to stay away from the dark spots and anything that's pale in color, just like anything else.
You want to look for a low fat cap, which on average is going to be about a quarter of an inch.
Quarter of an inch to less. Yep.
Then you don't want a piece with what they call the fat tail. So if you're looking at the piece of pork as an oval, if the fat cap comes a little off to one side to a point a little bit, stay away from that because that's just going to bring the price up because it's more weight to it.
Well, exactly. And just like anything, I mean, even if you're buying ribs, you want to go towards the smaller weight for almost anything you're buying because, why spend the extra money for fat?
Yeah.
If you're going to do it, you're going to do it the right way. So, get more bang for your buck and go towards the lighter weight of your proteins.
And you can also do a touch test. So you want the tenderloin to be a little more on the firm side instead of like a mushy squish to it, more firm. And you're not really going to go wrong with that.
No. And you want to cook it basically as soon as you buy it. Right when you buy it, you want to cook it. Or if you're not going to, then throw it in the freezer and it will last, a couple months.
Yeah. And that was pretty much it on the.
Yeah. So hopefully we answered your questions.
Keep them coming, Rob. We appreciate it. So, well, that's it for this week. We'd like to thank you all for joining us. We'd love to hear from you. Send your questions and comments to Pit Life BBQ Podcast at gmail.com. On social media, you can find us on YouTube and Facebook at Pit Life BBQ Podcast and the group page Pit Life Barbecue. If you can't catch us live, you can find us on iTunes and other podcast carriers. If you're enjoying the show, like always, please hit subscribe, like, rate, and review. 5 stars would be great. Share it with your friends. Keep it going.
See you later.
Mike got
I just had to get that in there. You need to either read that faster or shorten it.
You want to do this?
Nope.
Didn't think so. So sit there and...
You got it.
Well, hey, until next week, keep the smoke rolling.
Bye, guys.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Café, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.